selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector. Rewind selector.
Welcome to the IPA Champions Cup, live on Sporty Stuff TV.
Good evening and welcome to Wednesday night at the pool, Sporty Stuff TV Champions Cup, and we've got a first for you this evening. I'm going to let Mark Pickworth tell you, my pundit here, what's happened, but it's the first we've ever had in the Champions Cup, isn't it, Mark?
Yeah, and we're going to be playing with three players tonight. Mark Farnsworth, unfortunately, has had to pull out due to some personal reasons, but that doesn't mean we're going to be short of action. We're still going to have 6 matches, 5 more live matches here on Sporty Stuff TV. The show's going on. And 3 players are playing for one last place into the semi-final stage, and which all 3 of them, they really, really want it.
And that final is Sunday week, isn't it, Mark? And it's for big bucks, isn't it? Big money.
Yeah, it is. So the grand final is on March the 20th, which is a Sunday, but we've got the semi-final stage, which starts next Monday, and also the other semi-final is on the Tuesday. Then we'll have the Event 3 final on the Wednesday, and then by the end of Wednesday's matches, we'll know who the final 3 are for the grand final.
Yeah. And after last night, we've got to say quickly what happened last night. We had a shock, didn't we, last night? A shock winner, the outsider of the Don't Smile, a shock winner, 9-1, wasn't he? And
well, it's a shock to you bookies. It
was
really
a shock
is.
to us
betting
boys,
partners.
but,
they
Mark
got it wrong
put him
last
up.
night, and pleased to sort of say well done to Steve Thompson, 9-1 outsider to get through the group, and well played to him.
And he put him up, Mark put him up last night. He thought he was value to win a couple of matches as well. And he was value. And I think tonight, although we've only got 3 players, don't forget they're going to be on the table 4 times, aren't they, Mark?
Yeah, so it's still 6 matches. They're going to play each other twice, so that means they're playing 4 matches apiece.
Right.
It's going to be an interesting night.
They'll
Very
know
different for them.
They'll know how that table works. And let's have a look at our semi-final lineup, what we've got.
Yeah, so next Monday, as I said, the first semi-final. So it's going to be Liam Dunster, Dan Davies, Steve Thompson and JJ Fort, and that is all set now. There's no runners-up spots available for tonight. There's only a winner's spot available due to the change in circumstances. Then on Tuesday, Tom Barley, Craig Brown, and then whoever tonight's winner is, they'll be going in that last remaining spot. And then Alex O'Donoghue, who come from nowhere last night to get through. Sensational stuff, and I was really pleased for him in the end, to be honest, because he looked out of sorts at the very start.
Harry won that. Harry got that last spot last night in that last frame to win 4-0. God only knows. I don't know how he did it, but he did it, didn't he?
Yeah.
And that's what pool's all about. You don't know what's going to happen. But let's have a look at tonight's 3 players this evening, not 4. Keep on thinking you're going to say 4, but it's 3 tonight. You've got Michael Tomlinson. Now I know you love this boy, don't you?
I think so, yeah. He's a brilliant
boy.
Player, a local boy. He's a 2-1 shot, which you're going to mention a little bit later on, or he was a 2-1 shot, should I say? I think he was one of the best, one of the best amateur players in the country. He's going to be a professional player next year, and I think he could take some beating tonight. But Garry Southern, we've already seen that first match on YouTube. He played in my group. He's ranked number 44 on the amateur rankings, and he feels quite at home in that studio arena, and he'll be a little bit disappointed not to get a result from the first match. And then Andy Crowsdale, did great in this last season, already got to the semi-final stage in Event 1, and he'd love to go one step further, and he's more than capable of going that one step.
Yeah, well, I think me and Mark, we're going head-to-head tonight. I thought Andy Crowsdale, he was my pick, and I know Mark fancies Michael Tomlinson. As I said, we've already had 1 match this evening didn't we, early on this evening, and Michael Tomlinson come out 4-2 winner in that. But if you'd have seen it with your own eyes, you wouldn't have believed what the result was, because it could have went either way. But let's look at our odds tonight here for our 3 players. Don't forget, these odds have all gone, and I must say, unfortunately this evening, because of the late withdrawal, we could only find only one of our betting partners have put prices up. So you've got to look to find the actual betting partner, because it was so late, the withdrawal. The boys, the betting boys, the odds compilers, they just couldn't do nothing about it. But Michael Tomlinson was 2-1 before it started. These odds have disappeared now. You won't get these. Garry Southern was 5-1, and Andy Crowsdale was 8-13. So the bookie boy, or not boys tonight, Bookie Boy, made it a match tonight between Michael Tomlinson and Andy Crosdale. We'll just show you the form of Michael Tomlinson, how he's been playing, Mark.
Well, the Tornado started off pretty much where he left off, the qualifier. He qualified in one of our tour events last season. Like I said, he's going to be a professional player this coming season. He's definitely going to be one to watch. Win-lose record, 4 wins, 6 losses, 77% in 2020, which is quite impressive, and 72% in his career. And he's won an IPA amateur title. He won 7-6 in the Isle of Man, not the last one, the one before that. And he knows what it takes to win. And he's a really quality player, he really is, and I'm sure he's got plenty of backing tonight.
I think you think he could turn the favourite over tonight. Garry Southern, who yesterday was 20 to 1 to win this group, but with the non-runner, naturally the favourite going out, Mark, he was back to, well, he was 5 to 1, Bernie would won him, but let's have a look at his form, Mark.
Yeah, so Silverback, he was a qualifier. He qualified back in the last Isle of Man event in January. Win-lose record, 5-5, 50% in 2021, 52% in his career. Like I said, he was ranked number 44 on the amateur rankings when they finalised. But I'm sure he's got a bit of a taste of this, and I was really impressed with the way that he adapted to the studio arena. And I think he can still take some points tonight, and he'll feel a little bit disappointed that he hasn't got a point out of that first match.
He will be the outside in every match he plays tonight. And Andy Crosdale, favourite, 8 to 13 he was to win tonight.
Yeah, another one that's qualified in the tour events last season, and the win-lose record, 5-5, 73% in 2021 and 62% in his career. Andy Crosdale used to be a professional player years ago, and I'm going to be asking him, you know, what's changed in these sort of new years now. And but he's going to be a professional player on the IPA ranks next season, so it's going to be a really interesting professional season for them all.
Looking forward to the answer to that as well. What you're going to ask them?
Yeah, we'll have to find out, see what he comes up with. But it's going to be an interesting night, Garry. It really is. It could be a very close one again.
Yeah, and our first match on Sporty Stuff TV here, Andy Crosdale, Garry Southern. I know Andy's going to be big odds on favourite. Just look at my list here. What was he? 8 to 13, Andy. 7 to 2, Garry, and 5 to 2 the draw. You love a draw, but I think Crowe here. Well, he's got to win because he's got now. Michael won that first match. I wouldn't want to get too far behind in points against Michael this evening. How he started off there, but it's all about points make prizes, and points at the end of the night goes through, don't they, Mark?
Yeah, they do. You need the most points to go through tonight, but. Remember, Gary's already had a match on this table, so he should be all settled in. And Andy Crosdale, this is his first match tonight. Don't be surprised if Garry Southern causes an upset here.
Really?
Don't be surprised.
Now, well, you see what Marky thinks. He thinks you could get a shock here in our first match, but we've got plenty of other matches coming up this evening and plenty of value as well. Just show you our odds on the screen here that's coming up here. I'm looking at this here. And, here we go, Michael Tomlinson. Well, the odds were there, but unfortunately, I will call them out. I've got the odds in front of me. Michael Tomlinson is 9 to 4 against Andy Crosdale as evens in match 3. But the last match of the evening here, Andy Crosdale, even money against Michael Tomlinson, 9 to 4. That's going to be an absolute cracker on that last match there. Just going to see there, you can see them now just come up here on the screen again. Garry Southern, 7 to 2 against Andy. As I said, but there's only one betting partner betting on these matches this evening, which is really, really disappointing, but it's nothing to do with us here on Sporty Stuff TV. The withdrawal will come through late, and the odds compilers couldn't put up the new odds for the matches, but everything will be back to normal when we come back on Monday next week, I can assure you. But we've got our referee this evening, Brian Moss, and also our commentators. One thing is for certain, Jim White is always on duty, isn't he? And Mark Pitworth. And Mark went into the auditorium earlier to speak to the players live. Here we go. Over to you, Mark.
Thanks, Garry. We're back again for our last group stage. And Andy Crosdale, you're the favourite for tonight. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, it's there's 3 players. It's I suppose it's whoever rates the best tonight will win. There's 3 decent players, so we'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah, and you haven't got a bad record in this tournament. You had 2 wins, 3 draws, and 1 loss. I don't know if you remember it way back in January.
I remember the loss. Yeah.
Did you feel a little bit sort of hard done by in that semi-final stage? Did you not produce your best? Do you think?
I didn't play to my best. I played reasonably well, though. I was a bit unlucky in the end, to be fair, the way I went out. But sometimes that's bull.
I know I mentioned in the betting office to Garry that used to be a professional player years ago. I'm not sure if you can remember that far back.
Yeah, that was a long time ago
and
as
you're
well.
going to be a professional player in this coming season, which I'm really excited to see how you perform then. How much has the game changed from the years back to how it is now?
Yeah, it's certainly a lot more professional. The equipment has changed quite a bit. The cloths are a lot slicker. The balls are obviously different as well. So, yeah, it has changed quite a bit. But it was tough back in the day as well. The tables were a bit tighter, I think.
Okay, that's a fair comment.
Yeah.
And I personally think, it's my opinion this is, I think you're probably one of the fastest players on our circuit. Do you think that this format suits your style of play?
It certainly doesn't go against me. I think I was a lot faster probably 20 years ago. Yeah, it certainly doesn't go against me.
Well, you seem in really good spirits tonight, and I'm really looking forward to see how you get in. So I'm going to let you prepare for your game now. And
Cool, thank you.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Well, there's Crowy, Andy Crosdale. He can't wait to get started. And in this 3-horse race, it's anybody's tonight. And Garry Southern, not the who's with me now, the silverback, not the result that you wanted in that first match. What sort of went wrong? I know what went wrong because you gave a foul away. Was it a surprise that it was a foul?
I'll be honest, I didn't see it, but I was obviously concentrating on the pot, so it's been a good spot by the referee, to be fair. But I've made 2 other errors in 2 other frames there, which you can't do at this level. You're going to get punished. So.
Yeah, and you never got another shot apart from the break-off where you went off the table. But I can back up our referee, Brian Moss, and you did flick the red.
Yeah.
So are you a little bit sort of disappointed with your first performance? Because I thought you settled quite well again.
Yeah. The first frame was very scrappy, and then it started playing, getting the patterns right. But then you can't do nothing about the last 2 frames. Michael's played well, so it's going to be a tough group to try and qualify in.
And I said in the betting office, you was ranked number 44 on the amateur ranking, so you're one of the lowest ranked players in this tournament. And you don't really show that you're that type of player. Do you think that you're definitely better than ranked number 44 player?
We'll see. I have been professional in the past, but I'm getting older, so it's not as easy these days. And playing on the tour definitely helps your game. So we'll see how the next 12 months goes, and if I can progress up the rankings, hopefully.
And one thing I really want to ask you is that as you really settle in the studio arena, what have you really learnt from this experience, and what could you do different tonight?
Yeah, well, the 30-second shot clock is definitely a factor for me because I'm not the quickest player in the world, so I will have to get used to that. The environment is absolutely fantastic. The setup, the cameras, the whole experience has been just a joy to play in, to be honest with you. So yeah, let's hope I get an opportunity again in future.
Well, I don't think you're out of this one yet, so we might have to wait for the future for a little bit longer anyway. But I'm going to wish you the best of luck for your next 3 matches, and good luck for them.
Thanks, Matt. Cheers.
Well, there's the silverback, Garry Southern. He's not had the best of starts, but he'll not be too disappointed the way that he started off. But Michael Tomlinson, there's a tornado in town. That first match, did it go to plan? Because you looked like you struggled mid-part of that match.
I didn't start too well. I lost my white a couple of times early on, and then the 2 fouls from Garry. I probably didn't deserve to win the match, but they were the difference really. So I got away with one.
And last season you finished number 2 on the amateur rankings, and you was in that number 1 spot for a little while. Was you disappointed to finish number 2 in the end?
I was, yeah. It'd have been nice to finish number 1, but I didn't do too well in the last event. Double ranking points, and that's what cost me. And
in the last event that you performed in, you probably played in one of the best group stages that we've probably seen on this TV screen. Did you sort of feel like you was in the wrong place at the wrong time?
Well, I was in wrong group, wasn't I? I think I had the first 6 break dishes against me. I didn't really get a chance, so I don't think I could have possibly gone through that group as a winner, so I'm lucky to get another shot.
Well, you definitely played some great stuff. You've played some great stuff this season as well, so you're going to be a professional player next season. What's your expectations, and what do you think you're going to bring to our game and bring to our IPA ranks?
I just want to push myself, see how good I am really, play at top boys and hopefully get a couple of decent runs in comps and see how we go from there.
Well, you've had a great start already, and you've got another 3 matches, so I'm going to let you get prepared for that, and good luck for them.
Thank you.
Well, there's a tornado. He's definitely in town. He's had a great win already, and we're going to be back with the next match. Andy Crosdale against Garry Southern, and as Garry would say, we'll be back in 3 minutes.
Champions Cup Event 3, Group F match. Best of 6 frames. First frame, Andy Croasdale to break. Time running.
Welcome to Sporty Stuff TV's coverage of the 2022 Champions Cup. Our first match on the television. We've already seen one on YouTube, and the man at the table. Coming to the table now, Garry Southern. Well, he went down 4-2 to Michael Tomlinson. So this match takes on a little added significance if he wants to keep his run alive. He really needs a win. And if he gets it, he's going to have to provide it against the group favorite, the heavy group favorite, Andy Croasdale. They call him Crowy. He's an 8-13 on, well, not a good start from Garry Southern. But Andy, a massive favorite to win this group, 8-13. Short odds. Will he be worth it? And Mark Pickworth joining me in the comm box. He is definitely the man to beat, isn't he?
Yes, he is, and he's favourite for a reason. But these three players, anything can happen on this night. They really can, and we know this pool can do very silly things to the best players in the world. And don't be surprised if it happens again tonight.
Please.
Yeah, the one thing you can always be assured of is the odd shock wave going through the venue. Garry Southern really had control in that opening match against Michael Tomlinson. And Tomlinson was a big favorite there too, but Garry was 2-1 ahead. And if not for a foul, he would have been in complete control of the match, 3-1, and I think with the break as well. So that one really slipped away. And he doesn't want to let that happen again. Nudging the red to try and contain Andy. Oh, you know Andy's game pretty well, Mark?
Yeah, I do. He's been an amateur player now for the last couple of years, and as he said in his interview, he was a professional some years back, and I think he's glad to be back on the professional ranks, and a very established professional player, very established performer. Seems to be pretty consistent as well at the tours, and got a good win percentage as well, 73%. That's not to be sniffed at.
Oh, what a good shot from Garry there. Instantly gives himself a chance at the frame. Played the plant off the red nearest the corner, developed him, and look at the remaining 4 reds. All near pockets.
As you see, that last camera angle there, that's a new innovation from our production team, who've got cameras in the pockets now. These players can't get away with anything. We've got eyes on them all over.
Right now, Garry Southern's not getting away with anything. A very lax positional effort and forced into taking a very low percentage double that's gone astray. Still definitely in control of that one top corner pocket, guarded by the 2 reds, but that was a let-off, and he knows it. Oh, that's a great containing shot from Andy. Developed the 2 yellows, and looks like he's laid a snooker on Garry Southern here. And this won't be too easy to hit.
Yeah, he needs to be careful here with these new cushions, a bit slidey. And he's not got the connection he wanted, but he's going to be happy with that.
Yeah, that's the one thing the players have uniformly said is the conditions are fantastic. You know, the new cloth is always going to slide, even with the new balls. But the players have to adapt. Second prize.
Yeah, but with that last shot there, it just looked like Andy. He was just set it out wide. I think he was trying to get the cannon off the red. Yeah, but he's in control of this one now. I'm just looking now. Is Andy going to go all out attack here? Go for the combination shot probably. Try and open up that left-hand corner. He can do it with a couple of these yellows.
He's in line to do just that now, Mark. It's come out perfect. Well, it's important to clear that red. Yeah, he's got a nice short action, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has. And when he's on song and in full flow, he's a very dangerous player.
Frame.
Well, he secures frame number one here. The favorite, Andy Croasdale, stamping his authority on this one in the early going.
Okay, just make sure you get back to the right table, okay? Just be stand a couple of times. Yeah.
Hopes he sees a few more blacks at his mercy like this. And again, you see his head very still, almost always a formula for success in Q Sports. Keep your eye on the ball, head still, and also a sign that a man is in control of his nerve. And a player for me that has looked nervous at times in your picture right now, Garry Southern.
Garry Southern.
He's given us glimpses of what he's capable of, but just no consistency. Frame two.
Oh, wow, looking, that is that.
Yeah, not much you can do about that.
One visit.
Just a wry smile and back to his seat. Cue ball knocked in the pocket from a long ways out.
Extension, please.
The last time that Andy Croasdale had to try and get through a group was way back in the middle of January, and pretty good account of himself. The three played, he had a win, a loss, and a draw. That was a tough group too. A double D, Dan Davey in there, Tom Barley. And if I remember that group too, he was the second favorite. So he was very highly regarded.
Yeah, he was, and especially with the company he was with as well. And didn't really perform that great that night, but it wasn't a bad. And you just think if that draw was a win, and he could have easily have got through.
Extension, please.
Yeah, not much impact in the frame with that visit. He's certainly given Andy a chance to get acclimatized out there. That one didn't work out as planned. Now he's going to have to try and take this one. If he can take it off the yellow, that's what he's looking at. Open the pocket for the red that he's just put in jail. I think he'd be pretty happy with that, Mark.
Yeah, he will. And he played it at that really steady pace. It had to come out. And again, look how quick he's just stepped up the pace a bit. And when he does this, he's devastating. Oh dear.
That was never easy, never going to be easy when it's right in the jaws of the pocket. Double. Oh, he sliced it. He tried to cut it right into the corner pocket. Real tough shot.
Yeah, and he made his decision within seconds there. How quickly did he get down to that last shot?
And he overcut it. As thin as it looked, it almost didn't look on from our overhead perspective, and he ended up overcutting it. Wow, can Garry Southern capitalize? This is so similar, eerily similar to his first match where he was given chances. In the end, he just wasn't there.
Yeah, because he's definitely had chances already, definitely to win that first match. And he seems to be getting chances in this one as well. He needs to start taking them, though, if he's going to make any headway into winning this group.
Yeah, not with misses like that. Just too many unforced errors. Just overcut it. And the black down and 2-0. Well, yellow drops too. Just a little too late. Black down, 2-0. And the favorite, Andy Crosdale, well, he's in command.
Yeah, and I think that just proves how close that yellow was, Jim.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of delayed reactions from this table tonight. It's it might have a few twists and turns still in store for these guys. Yeah, you have to feel for Garry right now. He can't be enjoying his time out there. He's getting opportunity after opportunity. He's just not rising to the occasion. And you know he's got the ability. We've seen it. He too has played in an event group and acquitted himself admirably. Very thin snick here and queuing over the red. Very aggressive player by the look of it.
Yeah, he is, and he's one of them players, Jim. He doesn't like to let the opponent to the table. He just doesn't ever trust anything that can happen in this rule set. It's a very attacking rule set. We just know how much a frame can change like that, but what a miss that is.
Well, still, as well as he's playing, doesn't look like he's settled in yet either. A bit of a snatchy action with that long yellow. Not nearly as fluid as we've seen. But at some point, Garry knows he's got to start making Andy pay. Oh, that's a good shot, and that should help his confidence. I think he's got to shoot this red, top left. Tougher shot. How about that? How about that? I thought he could cut it in, mark, and just come across the bed of the table, close to the area that he is now. He elected on the double, much lower percentage, and how about that?
Yeah, brilliant shot indeed. And I think enough's enough now from Garry. He said to himself, come on, get grip. And that's what he's got. So this straight black. He looks a lot more steadier now. I hope that's not the commentator's curse.
Frame.
Not today. Garry Southern takes his first frame. And in a very confidence-boosting fashion with a courageous double to lay the foundation for victory. Took 3 frames before it came. He's had a look in every single frame. And finally, he capitalizes. So 2-1 to Andy Croasdale. But if nothing else, Garry Southern has let Andy know he's here.
Frame 4. Garry Southern to break, trailing 2 frames to 1. Time running.
He's got a real good break. He was so unlucky in his last break when the cue ball was kicked into the corner pocket, but he's got a lot of power and a lot of control.
Yeah, just looking at these reds, Jim, he's just got that one red below the black spot next to that yellow. I mean, it does pass into the right centre or even in the bottom left-hand corner pocket. But he's going to have to navigate his way to get down there. He will just be working that out now.
Well, the ideal red to play onto that awkward red is the one nearest the bottom right corner. So the path is there, and Garry will no doubt have worked out the pattern.
Yeah, he still might have a problem with the black. That only goes in them two middle pockets, I think. So this is, for me, is the key shot now. He needs to make sure he leaves the right angle on his second to last red. Has he gone too far? Is he okay? Body language says he is.
He may have to play a touch of spin, and that's going to increase the degree of difficulty to the pot. Played that nicely. Yeah, he made a tricky shot look easy. This is straightforward. This is Garry Southern just gathering himself because
Extension, please.
he's right at the finish line. He just wants to make sure now. Just harness that concentration. Couple shots left.
Yeah, this is very important for Garry Southern. He knows he needs to get points on the board. Another loss here would probably put him not completely out, but that needs to travel. Is it there?
Oh, it's close. It's desperately close. Great effort. Garry Southern has played himself right back into contention. Trailed 2-0, now it's 2-2. And what a performance from the man they call Silverback. Yeah, it was, I didn't want to say it, I didn't want to put the kiss of death on him, Mark, but that looked very similar to the type of shot he had against Michael Tomlinson, where it was real close and he just feathered the color going through, didn't he? And not this time. Good performance. That ended up being a real good positional shot from that last red.
Yeah, it certainly was. And you must have just read my mind, because I was thinking exactly the same. And I wonder what was going through Garry's mind. He was thinking, just take your time, be calm, and just make sure you cue it like a dream. And certainly did. And what a great clearance. 2-0 down as well. He's back in this.
Yeah, both players breaking very strong. Little messy in the middle of the table around the black. This is a chance.
Yeah, it is. And these reds, he's got reds in the bottom half of the table, so he can start moving and dislodging balls out of the way. But we know when you start moving balls, things can go wrong. And has it gone wrong already?
Not very often. You get a player wanting to clean one of the colors. Might get the cue ball cleaned more often than not, but he spotted something on one of the reds in the middle of the table. Reaching for the chalk as he leaves. That was a very, very difficult plant that he took on. Garry Southern is looking at a table that we can only really describe as ugly.
Yeah, these yellows, not very favourable indeed. But if he can get a good snooker laid here, he hasn't got it. Is that going to cost him the first chance of the get into 3?
Well, you know he was trying to go into those 2 reds. He had the angle. Just cut the red a little too thick.
Yeah, it did. Just skidded off that cushion. One good containing shot here. Keeps that control.
Total snooker.
Gary's having a look. He'd love to be able to get to that yellow nearest the top left corner. If he can play it off 2 cushions, he'll turn the tables on Andy.
Total snooker.
Well, no acknowledgement from Andy Crosdale on a real good effort from Garry Southern, but it was.
Yeah, well controlled. It was a big target, just like Andy has here. For me here, Jim, Andy Crosdale still favourite in this frame. And that's only down to Garry. He hasn't got many yellows in that bottom half of the table. When is he going to start to pull the trigger? And I think he's tried to do something there. I'm not sure that was the correct choice of shot.
It's not made life easier with that shot. He's bumped that red safe.
Yeah, and what's worse, Jim, he hasn't left himself a pot. But can he nestle this white behind that red?
Total snooker.
Another good escape. Does he take the chance here, Mark, to try and develop that red? The difficult one at the top end?
Well, he can try. He's very attacking, so don't be surprised if he doesn't. Sorry, if he does, should I say. It's not come out well for him, though. I think Gary's going to get a chance here to get to 3 first. He had a chance in the first match of getting to 3 first.
Trying to buy himself a little insurance as Andy Crosdale with that effort, tying the black up.
Yeah, he's got a shot to nothing here, though, Garry has. Into the right centre. He was always going to be covering the reds. Just looking at that yellow next to that black. Does it go into the bottom right-hand corner? sort of hard to judge if it does. Well, I think that's just answered my question. He's going out for these. Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't go in the bottom right corner, it definitely goes to the left centre.
Well, like you said, Mark, chance to get to 3 first. Well, the way he's looking, that yellow might pass, but he'll want just a touch of angle to try and loosen the black up too. Now, does he have it? Can he follow this through? He's kind of shrugging his shoulders a little, but he just needs a throw. He's dead straight. Does he want to try and take a chance and play this yellow into the right edge as we look and just feather that black open? I don't know. I might be just going for the double. Risky.
Yeah, look, he's under shot clock pressure now. Anything can happen here. He's going for that double. He didn't have any choice there. This shot clock just ruffles players up.
This is close. Oh, it's there. And Garry Southern completes it. Gets to 3 first. He's 3-2 in front. And remember, he trailed 2-0 in this match. He has completely turned the tables on the favorite. That was a brave finish. I even like the way that he played the double here as well. He's very confident. He wasn't going to be leaving Andy Crosdale anything easy on the Reds. And as you said, Mark, I mean, that shot clock was winding down. He played that last color leading up to the black with 1 second remaining. That's way too hard on our nerves.
Yeah, it is. But this is what this format can do to you, especially with that shot clock as well. It's a fast enough format without the shot clock going off as well. Exciting for the viewers, but brutal for the players.
Well, the last time he thumped him that hard, that cue ball went off the table. And he had to play his next shot from the floor. He kept it on the table this time, but no friends.
No, there isn't. And if he could have got through to this one in the top left, he's had a rub of the green here. I think he can. He has. He's going to have a chance here.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd get through to that red at all.
And we saw he had to pinch the pocket there and play it in like a dead weight.
No sign of emotion from Andy, but he's got to be thinking about the missed opportunities. Look out! So, just when you thought you were looking good.
1 free shot, 1 visit. Time running.
He just overscrewed it. And is this going to be the chance that Crowe needed? The one thing that we can rest assured of is that he's not going to take a lot of time either way. But it can be a cruel game.
can't see Andy missing from here. I mean, there's only that yellow on the left-hand cushion that can cause him any problems. But one good positional shot here, and this frame will be over.
Just looks so calm at the table. Perfect. Well, like I said, he wasn't going to waste any time. Andy Croasdale secures his third frame, and because of it, ekes out a draw with Garry Southern. A very fair result, in my opinion, but definitely he's still on course. The favorite just scraping home there.
That was a struggle, Jim, wasn't it? 3-3 there, Mark, and really, he was a bit unlucky, Garry. He could have caused a shock there, couldn't he?
Yeah, and he had a chance to get a point out of that first match as well. And I said, Gary's not here to make up the numbers.
No.
He's going to take some points off these players. And there you see it. He's got his first point on the board.
Yeah, well, that's what he needed. And but also that last one with Andy Croasdale, that was really important. He got a point there, wasn't it? Because it keeps him banging the hunt as well, doesn't it? Any one of the three could win, couldn't they, tonight, any of the players?
Yeah, and when it's only 2 points for a win and 1 point for the draw, it will be close. This is going down to the last couple of matches again, and there could be another shock on the cards. You just never know.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. We've had some emailers as well, haven't we, into this evening?
Yeah, so we had an email come through to us today, and a few questions that they want answering. So this is what I'm here for, to obviously give my expert opinion.
Yeah.
So this is from Aaron Davis. He's from Wales, and one of his questions. So on the actual scoreboard, we have our players' flags. And our players' flags tonight, which we can see that they're all like the British flags. So these, as you can see there on your screen, they're the British flags. And each of these players, they have their own profile. So we have no control of that. It's their own personal profile. So I'm sure they've got their own personal reasons of which flag they choose. They can choose any flag they want. And they decided to choose a British one. On mine, it's the English one. And it's just personal preference, really.
All right.
And then he had another question, so he's not just got the one question. So, again, on the scoreboard graphics, this just shows how sort of interested and important they're trying to look at every detail.
Well, that's what we want,
this.
isn't it, Mark?
Exactly, yeah, and I don't mind answering any of these questions. So he wants to know why we have the number 4 in the middle of the scoreboard. When you see the number 4 in the middle of the scoreboard there, so that's a race to 4. Now, when you show it on snooker, they'll have the race to 4, but it'll be a best of 4 frames, or if they have a 5, it's a best of 5 frames. But in pool, we have our own identity, and we always have a race to 4. But also remember, in this format that we've got here, we've also got the option of a draw. So trying to put a 4 and a 6 in there, it would confuse the viewers. But we try and make it as simple as we can so people can understand.
Well, I've had a text in as well this evening about people having a bet this evening, and someone said to me, how can you have a bet on the same players twice who's playing each other? Because if you went in a betting shop and write a bet out, it's like Wiltshire v Pickworth, and who's gonna, if he beats me in the first match, then if I beat you in the next match, people are going to go in and say, well, I wanted to have that bet. So that's another question that we've got coming on Twitter to me. So, we've got to look at things like that as well, haven't we? Because when people have a bet, it's like in horse racing, you can never have 2 horses running against each other in a race in the same day, like greyhound racing. And this is, pool now is becoming a big part of it, is the betting involved in it, and I think that's something that we've got to look at as well, Mark.
Yeah, it's an interesting fact, that one, definitely. It seems good that you've explained that as well.
Yeah,
And,
well,
this is what we're here for.
It, but as I said,
and hope that answers your question, Aaron, from Wales, and just hope it helps. And any more questions, fire away, and we'll answer them as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and also Tony from Watford there. Thank you for that, Tony. And I really and truthfully, I never noticed it myself, to be truthful with you. If I'd have noticed it earlier on today, I would have said to Martin, don't forget this is a trial for final night. So maybe, I don't know, but we'll try to put it right and so it's a little bit easier for you who's playing who on final night as well. Anyway, let's get on to our next match. We're going to be about 3 minutes. If you come back, don't forget, look for our betting partner, and I'm sure you'll find a bit of value for match number 3.
Champions Cup Event 3, Group F match, best of 6 frames. First frame, Michael Tomlinson break. Time running.
Our third match of the group, and really no clear-cut favorite, but Michael Tomlinson, well, he's the only winner to this point. Andy Croasdale, Garry Southern, a 3-3 draw, and the match just preceding this one. But the one thing about this particular matchup, well, it's a mouth-watering prospect. Both of these players very aggressive by nature. So you blink and you're apt to miss a few shots. Mark, this is the sort of pool that fans love to watch.
Yeah, they do. Fast, furious, and exciting. And these guys, they put in hours of practice, and they love to go all-out attack, and that's exactly what these players are doing.
Well, Andy Croasdale raced out to a 2-0 lead in this match against Garry Southern, then got pegged back, went into a 3-2 deficit, but some good shot making and holding his nerve and excellent cue ball control saw him scrape into a 3-3 draw. And he stays out to oppose Michael. Yeah, very fast, very assured. And it is the favorite, Andy Croasdale, securing frame number 1. He's hoping he can get a win under his belt. If he does it, he'll be doing it against the second favorite in the group, Michael Tomlinson, so that'll put him in very good stead. But a very handy clearance. Again, emphasizing cue ball control. He was never in trouble. And in contrast, though, Mark, if Michael could get a win over Andy here, he would be in control of the group.
Yeah, he would be. But Andy Croasdale, he's got another thing on his mind. Is he going to take a 2-0 lead again? He's going to have a chance because he's been breaking pretty well.
Oh, plants that cue ball in the middle of the table.
Incredible.
So unlucky, nothing finding a pocket, but watch this cue ball come to a halt in the middle. Just parked it right in the middle of the table.
Yeah, and if anything, he probably hit them too hard, and that was the reason. Oh, he didn't pot one, but these yellows, they're glorious to level this match up.
Nice little shot there. Just got to keep that white under wraps. Yeah, good idea to take a little extra time here for me, Mark, because I was about to say he's got to be careful playing that plant. Not so much getting the yellow, but where the yellow that he's going to be contacting is going to go. So speed and judgment here key.
Yeah, and he's done quite a bit of work with the cue ball, and that distance from the cue ball has made him miss that plant. I thought it was unmissable.
Yeah, I think he was so concerned with leaving the last yellow. He forgot he had to cut it slightly. But what a let off for Andy.
Well, I thought for one moment he'd probably snooking himself on that one in the left centre, but he hasn't. And he's just going about his work as quick as he does. And this could be 2-0 in no time at all.
Yeah, and the guy in the seats called a tornado. I think Andy Croasdale's starting to show us why he's the favorite. He is making it look like a walk in the park out there. 2-0. Andy Croasdale. You make the game look this easy, you are going to be a threat. Referee Brian Moss, he's been called to action a little bit already today. In the one frame, the ball kept dropping. It was right on the edge of the pocket, and the slightest vibration 3 times. I think he had to, well, twice for sure, but another one dropped in the top corner. So 3 times we've seen balls dropping when they've been so close to going in and haven't.
Frame 3.
I've never seen that before. But here we are, frame number 3. Andy Croasdale already 2-0 in front. So Michael Tomlinson, he's got to make inroads into that deficit here and now. Amazing game.
Yeah, it really is. And then Pool Gods, they've disappeared for Michael now. Got the win in that first match, but things are deserting him here.
Not the best shot there. Not sure what yellow he was playing on.
Well, I think he was playing on the yellow that he's closest to on the cushion. That's what he should have been playing for. And now he's going to have this
extension, please.
Pretty much wild plant. This is very tricky indeed.
Well, if it hasn't traveled far enough and still available to that top left corner, he's bought himself another golden opportunity. And obviously leaving the yellow, the one he's looking at now, that one would avail the best position to the black if he leaves it to last. Oh, all about that yellow to the top left. So here's the big shot. And he's got to get the cue ball back the bottom end of the table. Yeah, Andy Croasdale, he's found the gas pedal. And he is motoring 3-0 in front of Michael Tomlinson. And it is all to do. Michael hasn't found a ball off the break yet. And every time he's turned it right over to Andy. And Andy is quick to oblige. He is a handful. When he's flowing like this, almost unstoppable.
Yeah, he is. And them dry breaks of Michael Tomlinson have really hurt him in this match. He's not really had much opportunity, really. And Rosedale's going to be breaking in this one to win this 4-0 as well.
Frame 4. Andy Rosedale to break, leading 3 frames to 0. Time running.
Well, he was an 8-13 bet to win the group. And all of a sudden, we're seeing why.
Yeah, first glance at these, he wants the reds. He's going to have a tough opening red. He's going to have to play a cutback, I think.
Extension, please.
Well, the red closest to, is there enough gap in between them two balls? Maybe come off the cushion and hit the yellow, and so he can pot it. It's a very tough opening red. I think he's going to have no choice but to the yellows.
Well, he's already used his extension, and I think that might be the first time Andy Rosedale's used his extension tonight.
This is the big shot.
Foul. 1 free shot, 1 visit. Time running.
Well, a mistake. Tried to force it. He had the angle on that yellow, but just misjudged it.
Frozen ball. Time running.
You have to feel that Michael's got to make hay while the sun shines now. He has to win here to have any chance, because he'll break in the next.
Yeah, it will be. I'm just wondering what doubt will be going through Andy Rosedale's mind again from a winning position. Is he going to drop 2 points again? That's not ideal.
Yeah, he'll take his extension here. He's played a wayward shot there.
Does this go?
Yeah, there's no way I thought that Andy was coming back to the table in this frame. Just didn't quite get the lay of the land. His pattern to remove those reds never looked set, did it?
No, it didn't. And even that previous shot he's played into the bottom left-hand corner, he should have at least got the pocket. And even that one's got away from him. But no, Andy, it's not an easy clearance. There's still some places where this can go wrong. That clock's ticking down. He's used his
He's
extension.
got to hurry.
Well, I'm not sure about that one. Can he get through to that bottom left-hand cushion? Can he
Snooker.
swipe this red in with plenty of run inside?
Total snooker here. Foul. one free shot, one visit. Time
Well,
running.
that should be the last chance for Michael Tomlinson, you have to feel.
Yeah, losing
'Cause
this
you-
4-0. I mean, they've all got to play each other again, so there's still plenty of pool left to be played yet.
Yeah, leaving the yellow at the bottom end of the table last. Wise. And very nicely played. Well, our
Frame
8 to
on the
13
match.
favorite
Andy Croasdale
just
wins
took
4
out
frames
the
to
second favorite, 4-0. A great performance. He was given one too many chances. And Andy Croasdale, well, he was equal to the task. Terrific performance, 4-0. And guys, there's your favorite for sure.
Yeah, he come alive there, Jim, didn't he, Andy? You can see why them bookie boys tonight made him 8 to 13 to win, but that was pure class there, weren't it, Mark? Absolutely, you know.
Yeah,
quick
it
as
was.
well, quick, wasn't
Yeah, very quick game. The breaks, kept Michael out of that match. He'd be a little bit disappointed to lose 4-0, but they've still got to play each other again here. And there's plenty more pool yet. The tornado's been put out for now, but how long is he going to be put out for?
Yeah, it's like a two-legged... Tonight, it's like a two-legged football match, isn't it? You had one, and now they're playing again in the second leg, isn't it? The same players are playing...
One at home and one away, eh?
Yeah, home and away, that's what it's all about. Anyway, just looking at our next match, we've got Michael Tomlinson against Garry Southern. Well, really, well, I don't know. You know, it's tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Andy, he'll probably be hoping for a draw. But Michael, he needs to go out win here because he don't want Crowe to get too far ahead. And losing 4-0 to Crowe really puts the cat amongst the pigeons. But Garry Southern, don't write him off yet.
No.
If he gets a win here, he's right back in it.
Yeah,
he really is.
It's tricky. It'd be good, isn't it? It's really exciting tonight as well. We've only got 3 players, but seeing them play, you know, seems like they've been on all night, doesn't it? It's really, really, you know, and if you are playing on it, you can see how they're playing, the format, and that. It's really, really good. So we'll be back in 3 minutes for our next match. So if you want to have a quick cup of tea, have one for me as well. Bye-bye.
Champions Cup Event 3, Group F match, best of 6 frames. First frame, Michael Tomlinson to break. Time running.
So back to a replay of our very first match that started things out in this group. Given there's only 3 players, Michael Tomlinson against Garry Southern, Act 2. Tomlinson, a 4-2 winner in that instance. Well, he's just coming off the back of a 4-0 loss at the hands of Andy Croasdale. I wonder if he's going to be able to regroup and get back on song. Given there's only 3 players, Mark, only the winner goes through. There's no best runners-up finishes there.
No, there isn't. Not in this one. It would be unfair to the other players that have played in the previous 5 groups. So they're only playing for the 1 place. And they'll be playing next Tuesday, the winner of this group. So what, the way that this broke off, they look really, really untidy. And the way that Michael's taking these out is pretty much incredible.
Well, Garry Southern really let him off the first time they played. And Michael took full advantage. Well, he's wasting little time here and taking no chances. And securing frame number 1.
Frame.
Parking Garry Southern in his chair ever since the handshake. And in convincing fashion. He had a couple chances in his last match against Andy, but just couldn't quite get the measure of it. Well, he certainly looks a lot better now.
Yeah, he does, and he'd be pleased that his break started to work. So it was deserted him in that last match. But one person I have been impressed with the break is Garry Southern. So it'll be interesting to see now. He's just had that a match rest. Sometimes you can lose a little bit of momentum.
Frame 2. Garry Southern to break.
Well, if anything, Garry overhits it. We've seen him knock the cue ball on the floor once and come close to doing it a second time. He's got a ton of power. Yeah, even when he takes a little bit off his power, it's still formidable.
Yeah, now about that for a split. His arguments for both colour sets here. He's got choices.
Lost the cue ball. Intended to play on the red he's nearest. Now he's going to have to come with a more tricky red top left. Still expect him to get this. You know, sometimes when you have to reroute, as you say, Mark, and, you know, you never really settle into the shot because you know that wasn't the initial game plan, and you have to recommit. And we've already seen that Michael Tomlinson is in very punishing mood right now.
Yeah, and that 4-0 loss in the previous match, he's going to take some recovering from. He's doing it in great style so far.
He's kind of giving us an Andy Crosdale impersonation. He's making it look easy. It's so much fun to commentate when you see players just get down and knock him in like this, waste little time. And Michael Tomlinson, he fits the bill. 2-0 ahead of Garry Southern. As I said, he beat him 4-2 the first time they played. Somehow you get the feeling he wants an even more convincing result this time. And Tomlinson, he'll be a professional next year, Mark?
Yeah, he will be. He finished number 2 on the amateur rankings last season, and he's going to be a pretty much handful in them pro ranks.
You know, the players that I've seen, and I've seen most of them now, a couple of top players I still haven't seen, but I've seen the likes of Dunster and Farnsworth and, you know, the top players, Hibbett, Corey Reese, and it's just the polish that some of the amateurs might lack because they've got all the ability, don't they? All the talent.
Yeah, they do.
And they need a little bit of luck.
Yeah, they do, but they also need to take them half chances. That's what the top players do so consistently. They just never, ever miss. And the sort of half chances they just make look so easy. And that's the difference.
Well, he's got an angle here. If he wants to try and attack, he can develop that tricky red. That's exactly what he's tried to do. Oh, I don't know if he wanted it to drop. Still not bad.
Yeah, you say not bad, but how much of that red on that top cushion is he got a potting angle for it? Probably not now, but can he get a potting angle to it?
Extension, please.
Looks tight.
He's looking at it, Mark. And that red stayed over the pocket, would have been easier.
Foul. 1 free shot, 1 visit.
Oh, he must have clipped the yellow. So a foul, and
Time running.
it's just gone from bad to worse for Garry Southern. And 3-0 in favor of Tomlinson, very much on the cards. The tornado. Oh, he's shooting up a storm right now. And again, his cue ball control is superb. He's just making it look like you could pass the cue to anybody walking by on the street outside, they could dish up. Michael Tomlinson, 3-0. One-way traffic here in our 4th match of this group session. And 3 chances, if it takes all 3, to secure the win. If Garry loses this match, as it looks very much like he will, you've got to feel that his run in the 2022 Champions Cup will come to an end.
Frame 4. Garry Southern to break. Trailing 3 frames to 0. Time
The only chance he's got is he's got to win these last 3. And then his last match of the evening against Andy Croasdale, he's going to have to crush Andy. So, and he may still, still might not put him in a good spot, eh, Mark?
No, it won't, and he'll be a little bit disappointed. But the chances he's had in this match have been pretty much none.
Extension,
Not
please.
like he's had chances in the first 2 matches. He's definitely getting less in this one, but he thinks he can take these. These are the chances you've got to take at this level.
Nicely played. Well, I believe that yellow is still available to the side pocket. Just got to use another yellow to drop onto it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's available into the right centre. Oh, the way that he's played that, you're right, Jim. But he's under-hit that by a good 6 or 8 inches.
Well, if it goes, he's got to play it right now. Yeah, maybe it didn't go, Mark. It looked like he tried to just pinch the pocket, and it may not have been as straightforward as he would like to have thought.
No, it wasn't, and that's one of them shots. You've just got to time them so right with the right-hand spin. He was just hoping he could have spun it into that left centre. He's missed it. And now this is looking like this could be a 4-0 loss.
One thing about it, Gary's suffering may not last a lot longer. Yeah, but you have to tip your hat to Michael Tomlinson. This has been some kind of performance. When he's had the chance, he has wasted no time at all. He lost his last match 4-0, but he's come out and dished out a donut to Garry Southern. 4-0 Michael Tomlinson, and he has put himself right back into contention in this group.
Oh, well, it was all over so soon there, wasn't it, Mark?
Yeah, 2 4-0 wins in quick succession, and well, Tornado is back. It's going to go down to this last match to see who wins this group.
I've got great news as well. We've got another betting partners joined in halfway through the evening. So when you want your live odds looking at it, look for our betting partners end of the screen. You know they are. But we've had one join in halfway through. That was good, Mark.
Yeah, it is, and they're doing match by match, but it's definitely there, and there's still betting going off.
Yeah, well, that's what we want. We want a bit of odds going on. But as I said, I think the format today and what's happened with the non-runner, but the bookie partners, they never knew, did they, Mark? Well, they never had time to change it, did they, Mark?
But no, and you know, they're sort of exceptional circumstances, and
good job you said that, because I wouldn't be able to say that circumstances. But what Mark said, he said it earlier, it could all go down to the last match this evening, couldn't it, Mark?
Yeah, it's definitely going down to the last match this evening now, and
there's not a lot between these two favourites, is there?
No, there isn't. And Garry, he's been on the back end of some great play. He really has. Yeah, I've been quite sort of impressed with Garry Southern, and he's out of the competition now. But
he'll be going home with a bronze medal tonight, Garry.
Yeah, he will be. Yeah,
but we've got 2 matches left here on Sporty Stuff TV. You've got to come back in 3 minutes. The excitement. If he don't know who's going to win, I don't know who's going to win. So you'll have to tell us at home. See you in 3 minutes.
Champions Cup Event 3, Group F match. Best of 6 frames. First frame, Andy Croasdale to break. Time running.
The one thing we're certain of is Garry Southern won't be progressing out of this group stage. What we don't know is whether it's going to be Andy Croasdale, the man who just broke,
foul.
and saw the cue ball into the corner pocket, or Michael Tomlinson, who wins the group,
One free
because
shot.
they're both
Visit.
there.
Time running.
So a chance for Andy as he sees that cue ball go into the corner. Big chance for him against Garry to reestablish the favoritism in this group. And Garry, nothing to play for now but pride.
Yeah, it is. And we saw these two play in match number 2, and they drew 3-3. That's exactly what Andy Crosdale doesn't want. He'd love to go into the last match against Michael Tomlinson, only leading a point. But the only way he's going to get to that is he needs to beat Garry Southern. I think Garry, he's got different ideas of his own. He's going to win this match. Or can he win
Well,
this
the pressure's off, Mark, isn't it? So he can let that back arm go freely now.
Yeah, you can. And we've seen players in this position before where there's nothing to play for. But what you see is the way that they still go about trying to win this match. And as I say that, he's missed a simple ball in the left centre. But look how mad he is with himself.
Yeah, not a memorable evening for Garry Southern at all. And I can tell you, it can be a very lonely place out there when you're fighting it.
Yeah, you got to say, Jim, and ever since that foul in that first match, he's never recovered from that.
Yeah, that's true, Mark. Everything when it looked like he was going to start the group matches out in terrific fashion against one of the group favorites, it just went absolutely sideways right after that foul.
I think one thing we've not touched on too much is the actual standard of these matches tonight. They've been absolutely superb, and playing to the correct style is wonderful to see.
You know, Mark, that's kind of one of the reasons I was asking you about the professional and the amateur game and, you know, drawing comparisons, because from what I'm seeing, these guys are amateurs.
Yeah.
Well,
Frame.
let me stay with the professional game then. Very quickly, Andy Crosdale. If nothing else, the punishment comes swift and sure. 1-0 over Garry Southern. The pain doesn't last long. But these amateurs play at such a high standard. I mean, both Andy and Michael that we've seen, terrific players and very attacking, very entertaining. I mean, they'll do the professional game credit.
Frame 2. Garry Southern to break. Drilling 1 frame to 0. Time running.
Brian Moss, our referee, passes the cue ball to Garry. There'll be a little venom in this break.
Wow. Unbelievable.
I'm a little surprised there's any balls left.
Yeah, I think he's going to be taking reds here, only because it's not an easy yellow opener. Unless that yellow does pass into the left centre. It looks tight.
This is all good experience, though, for Garry. And he'll be able to delve into it, because we have seen glimmers of what he is capable of.
makes you wonder, in a year's time, after the next season's over, is he going to be one of these amateur players that's going to be getting that professional status? I'm sure he'll be trying his hardest. I'll be very keen into seeing how he gets on next season. And next season's not far away, Jim. End of this month, season Tour 1 is starting. No rest for these players.
Yeah, rev up your engines.
Extension, please.
Nice to get the season underway, Mark, after the way things have gone the last couple of years. Be a lot of players looking forward to it.
Yeah, certainly has. And getting back to some normality now. But we've been very busy here at the IPA. There's no rest for us either. Just had the World Championships. We had the last tour in January. We've had this Champions Cup, winning over 11 weeks. And it's just coming up to the end now. It'll be disappointing when it comes to the end. But
Brilliant shot there from Garry. Had to draw that cue ball between the yellow and the black. And he's dropped on it perfect. Again, as I said, every now and then he gives you a little glimpse into the talent that he possesses.
Frame.
And 1-1. A good innings there from Garry Southern. Levels it up, one apiece against Andy Croasdale.
And that's exactly how you reply to Andy Croasdale. Let's have a break and clearance. And remember, Andy went in off on his first break. He needs to get that cue ball under control, otherwise he could find this match running away from him as well.
Do you remember when Andy played as a
23.
professional, Mark?
Andy Croasdale to break. Scores are tied.
No, I
1-3
don't.
more.
I was with a
Time
different organisation then, and probably not really into pool that much. And I was a bit of a late comer to the pool scene, where Andy, no doubt, he's been playing since his very younger days.
Well, a good break, a much better break this time. Cue ball staying on the playing surface. Difficult opener. Yeah, cueing right over that yellow. That might be the toughest shot he faces.
Yeah, I like the way he's going about these. I think he's got to take the one in the possibly in the right centre next, then left centre, then go up table and play that into the left centre and drift down probably. And then probably the black into the right centre. I think that's the only way. Needs to be perfect now after this one. If not, he's going to be chasing this frame.
Now, does he want to try and take the cue ball into the red? And oh, he's playing it into the center.
Straight down to his shot. Oh, he's gone wide. Said he'd be chasing, didn't I? If he didn't get the position, and that's exactly what's happened. I think Garry's going to glue him behind this black. Is he going to all-out attack? Yeah, I like this. I like it. I love the attacking option.
Yeah, you don't bring the opponent back to the table. You don't tempt fate. You know, and you see what Garry is capable of, and you just wonder, where was this in the preceding match? Wasn't given very much of a chance from Michael Tomlinson, to be fair. But he's got a big break, and that's a formidable weapon in the game of pool. Well, he's a little straighter than he would have liked here. Not easy to get the cue ball over to the left side of the table. So he's going to have to content himself with a tricky yellow down the left side. Position should be natural.
Whoa.
Well, the fact that it wiped its feet, that cue ball didn't go above the black as intended. So now it's a thin cut into the center. No danger for Garry Southern.
Frame.
2 on the spin, and with it, a 2-1 lead over Andy Croasdale. He seems to save his best for the event favorite or the group favorite. And he's kind of got Andy under a bit of pressure now. If Andy's going to win this match, there's 3 remaining. He needs them all. And Garry looks like he's stepped up to the challenge.
Yeah, we know how good Garry's break is. Just needs one more good break. Can he get to 3 first? Michael will be watching on the TV downstairs. He'll be wishing Garry all the best. No, he really wants Garry to win this one.
Well, he's got a chance. Not an easy one. We say that often.
Yeah, far from easy. I'm wondering if he can go for these reds and try and dislodge them 2 reds his next 2 next. He's trying. Oh, he's missed them.
Yeah, that would have been a shot that would have laid the winning line right in his face. And now, got to come with a good shot. He still has to try and develop those reds, Mark.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he's got the cross double here, and that will open them reds up. This is a big shot. This goes in. Great chance.
He doesn't lack in heart or courage, does he?
No, he certainly doesn't. And can he take these reds out? I think Andy Croasdale will be sick of the sight of him if he does. It's not a bad kiss. I think he's got a choice of all 3 reds here.
Yeah, Andy. Seeing a master class being put on courtesy of Garry Southern right now.
Extension, please.
He knew he overhit that, and that could so easily have found cover behind that yellow. He offered his hand to apologize, but the apology doesn't mean very much. Oh, well, maybe he felt guilty. That's more of an apology that I think Andy was looking for. A great double, though. Should have laid the foundation for victory.
Yeah, should have done. And he's got the perfect angle in here to go into these 2 yellows if he needs to. Well, does that one pass? I think it passes. Is he on it? Needs to be one on the cushion. Has he come too far? No, it looks okay. Or is it going to be the safety? He knows how important this is.
Total snooker.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that shot, I got to be honest, because he's got a 1 cushion escape here. And if he gets the red, he's going to be on the black. This is very, very risky for Andy Croasdale.
Foul. 1 free shot, 1 visit.
Well, it's worked out for him.
Time running.
Can't see him failing now, though.
No, you can't. It's only going to be a careless shot if he does. Just needs to keep it as simple as possible. These are crucial times here for Andy Croasdale.
Well, he must have heard you, Mark. When you said keep it simple, that's exactly what he's done. Limited the travel the cue ball is done. And he's got back to 2 apiece. So
Fred.
Andy Croasdale given a lifeline. And now still in with a big chance to win the match. So often, the last match of the evening is the one that decides the group winner. And it's looking very much like it's going to be the case here again tonight. So who's ever doing the scheduling
Frame
and
5.
match planning, Mark, and I'm betting you know that person pretty well,
Tied, 2 free
doing a
shots.
pretty good job of it.
Time running.
Yeah, it seems to be working.
Well, you think Reds here have to be the favorite, just given that one over the left side. So the first opportunity to get to 3 is going to fall to Andy Croasdale. Look out. A little flick on that yellow, and that cue ball would have found gravity in that corner pocket. As it is, not one of Andy's better positional efforts.
No, it's not. He had a big area to get into there, to get on that red in the right centre. What is he going to do here? Because the ball he can see, it's just going to open up all these yellows.
Extension, please.
Yeah, he's looking at the top cushion to try and make that red over the side pocket. Maybe his only option to try and still secure the frame here. Wow. What was the problem?
There was no problem. Easy, wasn't it? Cracking shot, though, from Andy Croasdale. Just when he needed it.
Yeah, just want to be a little careful here. Don't leave yourself queuing over that yellow. Well, unless you can reach it and cue it this comfortably. It's a good thing he's tall. Oh, just gets the black. Wiped its feet, but safely down. And Andy Croasdale, well, it wasn't without a few hiccups, but he got there in the end. 3-2, he leads Garry Southern. But some anxious moments to be sure. And for the very rare occasion, we see him shaking his head when he played that bad shot, Mark, but what a shot he provided us with to escape.
Yeah, he did. And, he produced the goods when he needed to. Brilliant shot making. Brilliant it was. Garry Southern, can he get anything out of this? Is it going to be another draw between these two? He's already had a breaking clearance
Final
in this
frame.
match.
Garry Southern to break.
Can he get another
3
one?
frames to 2. Time running.
There's a lot of professionals would like to have his break.
Yeah, the would. He gets some power in him. He really does. I mean, he'd love to see this red that's travelling towards that bottom left-hand pocket there. He'd love to have seen that dropped because he'd have been going all out for these yellows. But reds, they're not bad. Just that middle of the table's a little bit untidy. Just needs to go about his work.
For me, this is a key shot right here. If you can get positioned on one of those difficult reds, or at least get onto one in the middle of the table where he can start getting at. Well, it's gone. Well, he's still got a red on the left-hand cushion. But that was risky going into those colors.
Yeah, it probably was, but he felt like he needed to do it. And if he gets this into this top left-hand corner, this will be a chance. What a great pot that is.
Well, Garry can complete the clearance here, and he'll go out in a blaze of glory. You know, finishing his event with 2 break and clearances. The only thing standing in his way is himself right now, because they're there. Was he left the wrong angle? He needed to be above this red so that he could just screw the cue ball over to play the black to the same pocket. If he's straight in, he's going to have to draw straight back. Oh, wow. Garry, I feel for you. just a little lapse of concentration and focus. And if you drop your guard for a second, that's what happens to you in this game.
Yeah, and he's just missed one too many tonight. And one too many has cost him it.
Well, Michael Tomlinson, who's watching, I'm sure, in one of the other rooms, will be suffering right along with Garry, because that was a big chance for him. A little more to be played in this one just yet.
Timeout.
Yeah, you can shake your head, but
Time running.
you should be coming back to the table. And putting that red over the corner pocket puts the heat on Andy. What does he come with here, Mark? Help.
Well, he needs to get a double. Still not over. It should be now, though, should it? Garry,
Well,
so
Michael Tomlinson's just perked up in his chair. You know, if Andy Croasdale doesn't get out of this group, he's going to remember these last few sequences, because he should have won this one and he knows it. And a great performance, though, from Garry. As I said, again, a tie, but he's got out in a blaze of glory. He's played the group favorite twice. He's tied him twice. And sadly, his run in the event's over. But our last match to come will mean everything. Michael Tomlinson against the man that will stay out there, Andy Croasdale.
Yeah, it'd be a close one, Jim. Really and truthfully, looking at the odds there, I don't know whether we favourite the form of the matches before, but we look at the league table now, and I think Andy's still in front then.
yeah, so they're all on 4 points. Andy's top on frames difference, so he's on +4, where Michael Tomlinson's on +2. So a 4-2 win would mean they would be level. But Andy Croasdale, he would... So Michael Tomlinson wins 4-2. He needs to win 4-1 to beat Andy Croasdale.
Right.
Or 4-0.
If Andy wins two legs...
I think he's safe with 2 because of he's already beat Michael 4-0. So he'll win on the difference on the head-to-head.
Yeah. Been so close though, hasn't it, Mark, tonight?
Yeah, it has. And it's been an incredible... group, to be honest, and even though we've only had the 3 players, it's still produced some brilliant action. Yeah,
I was going to say that. We've only had 3 players this evening, but it really has gone down to the wire, hasn't it, Mark? Really and truthfully, you know, you still don't know, do we, now? You know, as you said, there are 2 for anything could happen. It's been a good night of pool, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has, and now Andy needs to be very careful here, because he should have won that match. And him not winning that will mean he can't afford to draw. He needs to get something out of this match. He has to get something out of this match. Yeah, a draw's good enough as well, but he needs to be very careful. I think
what Jim said there in commentary about this is amateurs playing, you know, and I should imagine the professionals look over their shoulder and oh, what we got here coming? Because, like, you know, it's so good it's been tonight a standard, hasn't it? Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do, Mark. We've got the last match coming up in 3 minutes, and this is going to decide the winner. So we'll see you in 3 minutes for the final match of the evening here on Sporty Stuff Champions Cup, Paul.
Champions Cup Event 3, Group F match. Best of 6 frames. First frame, Michael Tomlinson to break. Time running.
Well, we've saved the best for last. So settle in. It has been a feast of terrific shot making And the drama is unfolding. It's a very clear-cut path that faces Michael Tomlinson right now. He needs a 4-1 win or better against Andy Croasdale. And that will see him through as the group winner. But it's come right down to the last match, as it normally has. And sometimes, Mark, when you know what you've got to do, you really do hit the reset button and focus, don't you?
Yeah, you do. And this is the time to focus. The very last match. There's so much at stake here to get into the semi-finals, which for these two players is going to make it. They're going to be playing next Tuesday. Whoever does get over the line. But Andy needs to get all these misses. He's just adding that last match out of his system. And he's just going to hope he's going to get some chances. Because the way that Michael's been playing tonight, he's been playing pretty well. Apart from that match when he played Andy Croasdale. And remember, Andy beat him 4-0.
Yeah, he'll want to get that one frame out of the way fast. No repetition with the history books, that's for sure. It's amazing, just with the three players, you know, they've provided as much as we could have asked. And again, as Garry has mentioned in the studio, tremendous standard.
Yeah, and you've got to give these three players the credit they deserve, being amateur players, plus everything that they've had to take in their stride as well, with Mark Farnsworth with that late pull-out. But a credit to them all.
Had to go for the treble, got it, but he's overcooked the cue ball. He screwed it about a foot further than he wanted to. So again, he's going to have to trust to Lady Luck and find something special here.
Yeah, he had to do like the big heave-o there. He needed to make some difference in this frame because these yellows are all there for the taking.
I expect that these two will have met countless times in the amateur game, given the way they play.
Yeah, and let's be honest, Jim, we could watch these two play all night. They just play at a terrific speed, and the ability of both these players is phenomenal.
Yeah, they really do get after it, don't they? They don't mess around at all. Like I said earlier, very entertaining and quality pool. And if you've got a dinner table booked, these are the guys you want to watch because you're never late for that reservation. 1-0, Andy Croasdale. He wants one more, and his place is secured.
Frame 2. Andy Croasdale at the break. Leading 1-0. Time running.
Andy, I'd like to get that frame out of the way sooner rather than later as well. A good break here will provide that opening. But the pressure is on, and he knows it.
Yeah, whoever wins this match, Jim, they'll be through. So it's really important now. These are coming to the final stage of the draw. Is good enough for Andy Crosdale.
No, he didn't cue that one as sweetly as he's cued most of the balls he's shot tonight. Kind of threw his shoulder at that one a little bit. But he's such a good potter. Well, he elected to try and knock that one in off the cushion. Didn't miss by much. And he's certainly taken that pocket out of commission as far as Michael's concerned. I wonder if Michael's going to try and knock this yellow into the top left corner and get after that tricky yellow right away. He plays very aggressively. All or nothing. A lot of courage and a lot of confidence. Oh, his cue ball control is deserting him somewhat. So once again, he's going to have to come out with a much more difficult shot than he would have liked. Mission accomplished. Wow. That's one of those instances he elected to try and load up the cue ball with left-hand topspin and increase the degree of difficulty to the pot. And there you see it again. And the beneficiary is at the table.
Yeah, it's looking like Andy Crosdale. He's going to go one frame away from progressing to the next round. He needs at least a point.
Frame.
And 2-0. So you've done the math already, Mark, and he needs to get to 3, not 2?
Yes, he does. They're both level on points. I think what I was thinking is that if he was he won that last match, and I was already overthinking because he should have won that last match, and he didn't. So a point is what he needs. 3. He needs to get to 3. The draw's no good for Michael though. He has to beat him. And that 4-0 when they played earlier in that third match, it's looking like that's going to come and hurt Michael Tomlinson. He's playing a big part in the way that he's playing at the moment.
Frame 3.
Desperately needs a ball off his break
Tomlinson
here.
break. Trailing 2 frames to 0. Time running.
I doubt he'll be holding anything back. Again, from what I've seen, the way these guys break, there's a lot of professionals on the tour that would like to turn their cue over to these guys and let them break for them. Had great breaks.
Yeah, this is exactly what the doctor ordered. It really is. Can he take these out, though? We just saw with a careless miss in that previous frame. Needs to forget about that now. Otherwise, this match will be away from him.
Sound shooting this time, no mistakes. And no prisoners.
Frame.
Secures his first frame. He can't afford any more losses. It's 2-1 to Andy Croasdale. Well, Michael Tomlinson, he's announced his presence. And a tornado. Hoping for a chance as Croasdale comes to the table to break. Frame number 4.
Frame 4. Andy Croasdale to break, leading 2 frames to 1. Time running.
Well, again, a great break, but as easy as the reds look, you still got that one that's surrounded by yellows. Well, let's see what Crowe can manufacture to try and improve his situation. He's on the difficult one now. And he had a bigger pocket over that center. So here it is. A chance right here, right now. He's got to hold his focus and let that back arm do what it's done for countless hours on the practice table.
Extension, please.
Yeah, it's all about leaving the correct angle. You can put this into the bottom left-hand corner, and it's all about the angle, and then it'll be about the cue ball pace. Oh, I like the way he's doing this. He's going up the table. Needs to mind his work, though, with these yellows.
That looks good. Dig into the cue ball and draw this. Yeah, this looks good. And again, it's just so noticeable, the speed with which he removes the colors. It just exudes confidence and self-belief. Black goes down. He knew it.
Frame.
That was the key ball in a night that has been filled with terrific shot making and plenty of drama. Andy Croasdale secures at least a point in the final match, and that'll be good enough to see him through. He was the favorite coming in, 8-13 to win the group. Well, would have taken a lot of brave hearts to lay that. But if you did, you're the one cashing in. And a good night work for Michael Tomlinson. Just that one 4-0 defeat at the hands of Andy earlier on. That was one that came back to haunt him. But Mark, if he's playing on the Pro Tour next year, you want to keep an eye open for him. All these pros are going to be looking over their shoulder. Because this guy,
Frame 5.
he's a force to be reckoned
Tomlinson
with.
to break. Trailing 3 frames to
Yeah,
1.
you're not wrong there, Jim.
Time running.
And both of these players, they're going to be very interesting to see how they get on next season. And the way that these boys have broken tonight, they've been breaking ballistically.
And he's not dropped onto an easy one.
Extension, please.
Yeah, I heard the beep, the 8-second, or sorry, the 10-second warning at 8 seconds and decided to call for the extension. Just wanted to reset and settle back into the shot, and a good pot it was. The man of the moment, Andy Crosdale. He's going to be your group winner. And a very deserving one at that.
Total.
Well, he's run out of position. It's happened to him a couple times in this last match.
Yeah, it has. I think we're just coming to the closing moments now. He's just clipped the red there.
1 free shot, 1 visit. Time running.
Yeah, not been a match the way that he wanted to close it out. But again, it's been fun watching the way that they've all played, even Garry. No, they go for game. When it's there, they just don't mess around. These guys have all played very well tonight, all of them.
Yeah, and you've got to say, Jim, it's probably been one of the best groups that we've seen. It's right up there anyway.
And surprise, surprise, Mark, the bookies got it right. And the black down, 4-1. Andy Crosdale goes out with a bang. He's owned Michael Tomlinson tonight. And by virtue of those 2 big wins, he wins the group. And as I said, guys, the bookies got it right tonight, didn't they?
Oh, that was some performance tonight by Andy, wasn't it? You know, it was what Jim said there. It was so quick, and he's worthy of a place in the grand final, isn't he, after that, Mark?
Yeah, if he produces some of that form in the semi-finals and the Event 3 final, he's going to take some stopping.
Yeah.
And we saw some brilliant standard from Michael and Garry as well, and they've been a credit to this group because it's probably been one of the best groups of this whole of the event. Yeah. And, you know, credit to them all.
Well, we thought earlier on with only 3 players tonight, it might have took a bit of the edge off it, but definitely not. It's definitely worked, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's no edge been taken off there. They've produced a top quality standard in that group for 3 amateur players.
Yeah.
Wow, incredible.
unbelievable. But that's been absolutely fantastic. So what we're going to do after the break, we're going to have a short break now. We're going to go on to our first match this evening, Mark, that was on YouTube. And it's been a great night at Paul. So from me, from Mark, from Jim White and Brian Moss, our referee, and all the production team, good night, God bless you. See you next Monday.